Imagine a moment in history when one battle didn't just determine the fate of a city, but the future of Europe. In the summer of 1920, Warsaw stood on the brink of collapse. The Soviet Red Army was knocking on its gates. But then, against all expectations, an audacious plan, fierce determination, and sheer will turn the tide. This was the Battle of Warsaw, what many call the miracle on the Vistula, and it ended on August 25th, 1920. What happened in those desperate days changed the course of histo. Hi, and welcome to Earth Sights on this day series, where we explore the pivotal events that shaped our world, one day at a time. Today, we're journeying back to August 25th, 1920, when the Battle of Warsaw ended in a dramatic Polish victory over the invading Soviet forces. Why does it matter? Because this wasn't just a battle. It was a decisive turning point, not only for a young, independent Poland defending its freedom, but for the entire future of Europe. It stopped the spread of Bolshevism into the heart of Western Europe and solidified Poland's borders for the interwar period. In this video, we'll unpack the broader context, the strategy, the turning points, and the aftermath in animated storytelling that's both riveting and easy to follow. Let's step into 1920. First, let's rewind to the powder keg that was post-World War I Eastern Europe. After a century of partitions, Poland reemerged in 1918, but its eastern borders were fluid, contested amid the collapse of imperial empires. The Bolsheviks, flushed with victory in the Russian Civil War, sought to export the revolution westward. Lenin envisioned marching through Poland into Germany and beyond. Poland, reborn and fragile, stood directly in the path of that ambition. The Soviets, led by General Mikhail Tukhachevsky, launched a powerful offensive. By summer 1920, Soviet divisions were driving into Polish territory, and Warsaw was under imminent threat. For the Poles, leaders like Jozef Pilsudski and Tadeusz Rozwadowski mounted a desperate defense. With Warsaw nearly encircled and morale wavering, the stage was set for a dramatic gambit. This was more than a battle. It was a clash of ideologies, Polish nationalism and independence versus communist revolution spreading across Europe. Now that we've framed the stakes, let's examine how this looming disaster flipped into a legendary victory. So, how did Poland turn things around? The answer lies in a bold counteroffensive masterminded by Marshal Jozef Pilsudski, a move so daring it seems cinematic. By August 12th, Soviet forces were at the outskirts of Warsaw, pressing hard. Pilsudski defied conventional defense. He gathered key units quietly to the south and feigned retreat, baiting the Red Army into overextending itself. Then on August 16th, from the area of the Weepers River, Pilsudski launched a surprise flank attack, timed perfectly. As Soviet attention was focused on capturing Warsaw, Polish forces struck at their rear, severing supply lines and communications. At the same time, fierce fighting raged at places like Radzymin and Praga. The town of Radzymin exchanged hands in brutal close-quarters combat from August 13th to 15th, with Polish defenders pushing back Soviet advances, delaying the enemy long enough to strike force to execute its maneuver. This combination of deception, timing, and audacity shattered the Soviet assault. With the counterattack in motion, what happened next? The Polish flank strike unleashed chaos. Soviet forces, suddenly cut off and battered, began a disorganized retreat. Within days, units were collapsing under pressure, morale broke, and mass surrenders followed. Casualty estimates underscore the scale of the rout. The Soviets suffered approximately 10,000 to 25,000 dead, 30,000 wounded, and 65,000 to 85,000 captured, with many more interned. Polish losses were significantly lighter, around 4,500 dead, 26,000 wounded, and 10,000 missing. By August 25th, 1920, the battle reached its conclusion. The Red Army was pushed east behind the Niemen River. Warsaw's safety was secured, and Polish resistance held firm. This stunning reversal was celebrated as a national triumph, often likened to Poland's legendary victories in history. It earned the nickname Miracle on the Vistula, though historians like Norman Davies emphasize it was not a miracle, but a testament to strategy, resolve, and patriotic spirit. The Battle of Warsaw ended on August 25th, 1920, with a resounding Polish victory, one that reversed the Soviet advance, preserved Poland's independence, and potentially altered the course of European history. It was no miracle. It was a feat of strategy, courage, and unity. So, thank you for traveling back in time with us to August 25th, 1920, a day when Warsaw stood firm and history turned on its axis. If you found this story as interesting, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment telling us what surprised you most. Maybe it's the strategy, the stakes,